Meepoboard is the OG affordable electric skateboard brand that has shaped today's landscape. So we were pretty puzzled that it took them until now to introduce their affordable belt-driven electric longboard. But finally, in November of 2024, they released the Meepo Go and the Meepo Edge, a pair of belt-driven electric longboards and shortboards priced at just over $500. Today, we'll be looking at the Meepo Go, the longboard, and as usual, let's dive into the specs. Starting with the deck, the Meepo Go features a simple design with a handle cutout. Unfortunately, this gives the board a slightly cheap vibe, but it's undoubtedly a practical feature. The deck is made of bamboo and fiberglass composite, which wasn't as flexible as the material implied. It only has a mild flex and a rather subtle concave. Next, the battery. Meepo Go is powered by a 12S2P 345 watt-hour battery using 21700 cells. This is the same ER battery pack used in the $499 Meepo V5 ER. It has a marketed range of 20 miles or 32 kilometers, a lot more than the 10 miles or 16 kilometers we expected from a typical $400 entry-level electric skateboard, and on par with the range of other $500 boards. As always, the actual range depends on rider weight, terrain, and how hard you ride. The ESC is where it gets interesting. Most e-skates run on either Hobbywing or Lingy ESCs, but Meepo decided to introduce a new competitor, the JK ESE. This ESC was developed by the ex-chief engineer of Hobbywing, so it's no surprise it behaves very similarly to Hobbywing ESCs. The JK ESC includes a smart power-on feature, where turning on the remote powers up the board, and comes with 4 speed modes. However, the top 2 speed modes are locked for the first 6 miles, 10 kilometers of riding, a mandatory practice mode with no bypass. This is annoying, and I hope they drop this feature in the future. And the remote takes some getting used to, as it operates a bit differently from other ESCs. For instance, switching speed modes requires double pressing the power button, which isn't my preferred method, but isn't a major issue either. For the motors, the Meepo Go is equipped with dual 800 watt 4230 belt motors. The motor sounds are pretty sweet to us. The top speed is 28 miles per hour or 45 kilometers per hour, which is pretty standard for boards in this price range, and we have no problem hitting 28 miles per hour with our board. The board uses Meepo's 7-inch 45-degree reverse kingpin shredder trucks with 100A bushings. We are familiar with shredder trucks, as Meepo puts them in most of their boards. They are good and give a good balance between stability and maneuverability. The wheels are standard 90mm with a 76A durometer. Nothing much to say about them. We initially thought Meepo would aim to make the Meepo Go the most affordable belt-driven electric longboard, but we were wrong. Instead of stripping down the specs to the bare minimum and creating a belt-driven version of the $359 Meepo V5, the Meepo Go is based on the $499 Meepo V5 ER, featuring the same upgraded 21700 battery. The rest of the components are familiar. While not particularly exciting, they have proven to be reliable and contribute to a solid riding experience. Let's dive into that next. When it comes to riding, the Meepo Go is a practical and straightforward board. Let's first talk about the new guy in town, the JK ESC. This JK ESC actually feels indistinguishable from Hobbywing ESCs, which means perfectly smooth acceleration and perfectly smooth braking. Everybody loves Hobbywing ESC, and hence, everybody will love this JK ESC. New riders will definitely find this an easy board to learn. The second focus we have for this board would be these belt motors, and they are alright. They deliver strong torque, better than any hub, but nothing to write home about. For those who are considering between hub drives and belt drives, definitely get belt drives, unless you are allergic to belt maintenance. Belt drives have better torque, better battery efficiency when going uphill, and a smoother ride on rough roads. When all else is equal, there is little reason to pick a hub drive over belts. Belt drives also kick off from a stop stronger, which is the best feeling on an electric skateboard, and they get to the top speed faster. On Meepo Go, we reached its top speed of 28 miles per hour or 45 kilometers per hour easily, but staying there is a bit sketchy. We blame it on the lack of a pronounced deck concave. We felt less sure about where our feet were. Otherwise, the shredder trucks did their job well. They are stable and have a good return to center. Shredder trucks have a pretty good balance between maneuverability and stability. Carving is smooth and fun, but it would have been more fun had the deck been more flexible, but that's my personal preference. Overall, what you get from the Meepo Go is reflected well by the vibe of its name, simple and utilitarian. It's not the cheapest belt-driven electric longboard out there, though Meepo could have achieved that by using a smaller 12S2P 18650 battery and pricing it at $450. However, instead of cutting corners and potentially leaving some riders dissatisfied, the Meepo Go comes with a setup that packs enough power and battery to meet the needs of even the most demanding riders. While not at all fancy and maybe a little bit boring, it's an inoffensive board and a safe buy for anyone looking for an entry-level belt-driven electric longboard. As always, if you are looking to buy a Meepo, or actually any e-skate, be sure to use our affiliated discount code with the link below. It will help you get a small monetary discount and helps us out too. You'll also be tagged as an Electric Skateboard HQ customer and probably be treated better. Ride safe, guys.